Are we?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Look at you. Okay, that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Listen, we got, we got a great show. We know what the topic is. And today's
Mm-hmm.
topic, for those who don't know and didn't see it, is not that. is
Okay,
these,
really? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
is these new age men.
All right.
What's up with it?
I mean, I feel like the same can be said about new age women. It's just another culture shift. So I think we're in the middle of another culture shift, and that's why there's confusion about it.
Confusion, you think?
Yeah, there's a better word than confusion. I'll have to think on it of a better word than confusion.
A better word?
A better word than confusion. But yeah, I think that it's just particularly in first world nations I know that's not politically correct anymore. I forgot what the politically correct term is. But for first world nations, most households cannot function on a single income. So women have to work. On top of that, women are more educated in more advanced nations. And that is going to and those two things I think are what directly impacts the changes in dating and in how men and women operate in society and interact with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess what I think?
What do you think?
I think it's a culture shift, a dating shift, a age shift.
Mm.
I think that men are now having their putting their standards,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
above women's. To be honest,
Well, I feel
their
like
standards.
historically,
Listen here, they doing it. They like, no, I'm not just gonna just give this away. I said, I
yeah.
heard that.
But I feel like historically, men have always had the opportunity to exercise their standards.
They definitely had the opportunity,
Yeah, all throughout history, men could choose which women they wish to pursue and or don't want to
but
pursue.
that's how it went, right?
Yeah,
They hunted for who they wanted,
yeah.
but the roles are reversed now.
Hmm. I don't think the roles have reversed. I think women are removing themselves from the competition. Oh no. There's a greater portion of women who are removing themselves from the dating pool or removing their investment in traditional relationships or traditional marriage and traditional union, and it's just not a priority or an end all be all the way it used to be in previous generations.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it is. Men are saying, I'm tired of y'all getting everything. We
Hmm.
have so many anthems out there. I was trying to get the one, and it's so explicit. What is I don't need? Let's talk about the I don't need real quick.
I think it's definitely not my generation. It's probably a generation under me. But there is so many anthems now, and then throughout history, American history. But there was also men's anthems because men have had anthems along those lines, for a
What
long time.
what kind of anthem? Don't
I don't need anthem.
okay. What you mean, like
Like
Bobby Womack's? If you think you're lonely now,
exactly, or like
no, that's a good. That's a good
right,
anthem.
or like I forgot how the hook goes, but it's like, you know, B's ain't S.
Bees ain't nothing but hoes and tricks or something like that. Is that how?
Exactly. Right.
But okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess that could be an anthem. That could be
Yeah.
an anthem.
And there's other ones I can't even think of. Or like even just recently, with uh Terrence Howard, whoop that trick. Like, come on now. Come on.
But
So
if you're not a trick, they're not talking to you, right?
I feel like but if you not an and then they not talking to you either.
Well, yeah, that's true too. That's true
Right.
too.
Or even
Oh,
the other
okay.
anthem where it's like
All right, let's.
FNF.
What is that?
Um FUCK N word free.
Well, that's. I guess it could be an anthem.
And
But
right. And then it
but watch this. But they're uplifting each other.
uh-huh.
That's what that is. They're uplifting each other. Where on like the female anthem, the I don't need
Uh-huh.
is they saying who they don't need and what they don't need. So they're actually talking about the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Because there was one line where she was like, "You're sitting in the house crying because he cheated on you or left you. Come outside. I got a bottle."
Well, that ain't good, but I guess that is. Look, is that what they doing now?
I mean, that's what she was
Okay,
saying to
let's
her
come on, girl,
girlfriend.
come
Like,
on,
quit
let me
crying
lift
over
you
that
up.
man. Yeah.
We're gonna dig a little deeper. Keep it locked. Right here, you're listening to Shop Talk with Mel.
Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
See, everything that happened is motivation.
All right.
I
All
want to
right.
start off by saying thank you guys all who have donated and who will donate it. I truly, truly appreciate you guys a lot more than you know. And if you are interested in donating and don't know how, that information is below. And you could go to paypal.me at Shop Talk with Mail. So that's Shop Talk with Mail on PayPal, as well as Cash App is Shop Talk with Mail too. All right. Or at Shop Talk with Mel, however you say it. Y'all know what that is. Look, I'm like,
Money time. Shop Taco Bell.
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Dollar sign. Yeah. That is it. All right. So the anthem. Who else is it to have an anthem?
I mean, I feel like they all got anthems. They all got at least. I feel like that's a part of like a decent album is at least one anthem.
One female anthem.
Yeah, because I feel like all the greats have anthems. Even the ones that are coming out now that are gaining popularity have an anthem. The ones that are still not very well known have an anthem. Yeah.
And that's how they get going.
I think it depends. I think it's still the same thing from when I was a kid, which is like it's still about like the beat and the rhythm. And then
it's definitely about that.
Exactly, because we could also, if we want to get into from my perspective, the problematic component of it, like Pound Town, like it's like, ugh.
But that's a phrase, right?
No, it's a song. Well, I guess it is a phrase.
Song?
It's a song, and it's a terrible song. It's another anthem, and it's to me the issue with the song is the lyrics. It's horrible. Like as far as like from a technical standpoint, like
okay, let's play this clip. I have to play this clip.
Okay.
And here we go. Are you ready?
I am ready, yes, ma'am.
She is ready. I'm about to get this going. Y'all know it's just me up in this mug. Trying to make wait. I think I can get it. I hope. I'm about to do all this. Sorry, y'all. All right, let's see if I can get it now.
With that being said,
let me start. Wait. I wanted to start all over. Come on. Oh, God. Wait, I'm trying to get this thing. Let it play and then start all over.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I can't even get this thing going. I should be having like some headphones on. I think I started too early.
That's okay.
But this is adult conversation. Let me put that out there real quick.
Yeah, this is for 18 and up.
Girl, everybody, the people be having sex like real early. But this is what is it? I don't even know. Monitor for quality assurance purposes and all that other stuff that go along with that. But I'm gonna start this over, adult conversation, like I said, and I'll be going live this year. So December, we gonna do it. We're gonna have a good time.
All right.
And here we go. Thanks for bearing with me, lovely people. If you can't handle it, don't do it. Mute it.
Right, put it on mute.
That being said, it ain't just you giving to me, beloved. I done broke that down every time you came over here. No, this not toxic. If is what you giving to me and I'm giving good back, then that just equaled out that part of the transaction. So if you down bad, because my thing is this, y'all got a whole song that the DJ can drop the beat on, and y'all say in unison that broke boys don't deserve no. I know that's right. If you over there struggling to fail behind on your bills, I'm taking my and I'm going home.
Okay, I ain't mad at him. I am not mad at him for that. But how do we get to this place where he feel like he could just do that? I thought that the females was the catch.
I mean, they've been saying that for a while now, that they're the prize. So,
but how long is a while? Let's be realistic here. A few years.
5 and 10 years.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The roles have reversed where women feel like, oh, well, I have to do this in order to be with him or to have a man and lower his standards.
Yeah, I mean, that's if she, a relationship is two people. So if the woman's accepting of that, that's on her. And it is not all men. And I definitely think that men are the prize in the sense that they're a human being, and human beings have something to contribute, and they should be valued, and their humanity and decency should be acknowledged and celebrated. So just the humanity of men, but that doesn't apply to just men. That's all human beings, children, to me, even animals. So that's just like basic decency. But as far as romantic union, traditionally the man is the hunter. So if you're the one hunting, then how are you the prize simultaneously hunting? It's the same thing with these particular men desiring a submissive provider, like Keke Palmer.
You say like Keke Palmer.
They want you to be submissive, but also provide for them. Like, how's that work?
But that's shady that we throwing that out there. We're gonna pin that. Facebook said our only anthem is "I don't want to be a player no more." That was mine. That was my wedding song.
Oh, for me, International Players Anthem. So
that was yours. Okay. Go ahead. You want to read the next comment?
So Nathan W. of YouTube said, first of all, ladies, you guys are looking amazing, and the men's anthems are talking to that specific type of woman. It only applies to those it applies to.
See, and that's what I think. But go ahead. What you got?
I have to disagree with that. But thank you for watching the show and taking the time to comment and joining the conversation. I feel like just the same way we can say, well, if you're not an N-word, then then the anthem is not talking about you. It's still, there is a blanket application. And if we can acknowledge that a lot of these anthems are speaking to an entire gender, then it goes both ways. So if we can get into the weeds of like, okay, well, it's not talking about this specific person. If it don't apply, let it fly. We should also be able to talk about how, even if it doesn't apply, it has impact. And especially the Black community, how these words, these messages are impacting the general interaction between Black women and Black men. And I definitely think the music and the messaging behind the music is contributing to that.
Well, it definitely is. It's contributing to record sales.
Good one.
Keep it 100. That's what it's contributing to, the record sales. I get it, but it seemed like the females have more anthem songs.
Well, and I think that's because women are more emotional. And I think that just like Mary J. Blige is an anthem of your broken heart emotions. And
oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so She really has all the anthems of heartbreak, period, in emotion. So, and I feel like
that's heartbreak. And so I guess that's why this girl said, what's her name? Big Boss or something like that.
okay.
Talking about We'll Need a Man. No, Mary J. Blige does not have an anthem for me. I'm talking about, when I say an anthem, that means everybody's in unison to agree to this song. Mary J. Blige, when she get her, she make banging music, but I've never I had Tyler. I bought one album, and that was What's the 411. What's up? That's it for Mary J. Nothing else. Nate W. YouTube said, I disagree, Amber D. It's raining men has nothing to do with me. And that's true.
That's a good one.
That's us telling us how much we got out in the market.
Right.
And I do agree here that the numbers are in the man's favor, but to just here's what I've noticed. A guy can say to a female, "Oh, your standards are too high. Oh, you bougie. Oh, A, B, C, and D." And women, for some unknown reason, I don't know if it's the compassion that she feels compelled to say, okay, well, maybe I'll give you a shot and lower the standard. But what's happening with the men, they're not. They're like, this is special. I'm sticking to it and I'm done. Well, either deal with it or not. Shut up or put up.
I agree, but I also feel like there's a component of what women and men are offering, like what they're bringing to the negotiation table. Like women are looking like for commitment, stability, and access to their womb, right? And whereas men, oftentimes when a woman doesn't meet their standards, they will still entertain her, but she won't qualify for commitment, and then he just won't inform her of that. So he's still interacting with her. He's still gaining sexual access. He's still willing to participate in that arena. But men, and that's why I feel like it's really important to distinguish between sexual access and commitment, because I feel like women are saying, I don't need a man for commitment and I can just have sexual relations. Whereas a man is saying, I'll have sexual relations with anybody, basically anything.
They're not anymore. He's gonna take this joint. He's taking his eggplant and going home. If your bills, you fall behind on your bills, seeing that it's out there, women, I ain't dealing with no broke dude, blah blah blah. He said, and if you fall behind on your bills, trust and believe, ma'am, I'm taking my eggplant and I'm going home.
Well, and I think that's good, because I feel like that is good, because that falls in line with men being more selective about who they procreate with and who they give sexual access to, because we know women have cash register babies, right? So if you're a man and you're trying not to get trapped, you definitely should walk away from a woman who's not financially stable, or if you suspect or feel she might be using you for your financial resources. So I think that's a good thing for men to like empower themselves. And also on top of that is an example of exercising sexual discipline, which I think is a major problem amongst men, is they don't have sexual discipline. So if a man like, exactly, so and good.
Look, listen, David Hood said these women be sliding in the inboxes trying to catch some eggplant, and he is. Let me tell you, he is not lying, because I have seen it. My homies be like, look at this. And you know what? Some of these guys are running. They like, she trying to chase me. What's she trying to give?
Right.
Or what is she trying to have? Is she trying to trap me? Almost the same thing. Like you were saying, some women feel like it's a cash register, but baby, please, that's a lifetime cash register. And it could be a headache too.
Right. I mean.
And then what if your cash register get outdated? Like, no, yeah. That's not the move. But what I'm noticing and what I would like to see come back is these women, when they have a standard, keeping that standard, holding to that standard, instead of, okay, well, he is having a hard time right now, so I'll lower my standard. My thing is, if somebody says that you are bougie, or your standards are too high, you just let me know in that conversation that you are not willing to put in the effort.
Mm.
And there's no sense in us moving forward. As far as like coming to the table, I'm gonna ask you this question. What is wrong with being a gold digger?
So in many other cultures, there's nothing wrong with being a gold digger, and their women are socialized from a very young age to be quote unquote gold diggers. And that is because all throughout all races and all throughout history, even in the Bible, a husband is liable to leave his wife, abandon his children, change his mind. Men are fickle, right? Even when it within a commitment. And so women are encouraged to have a backup plan, have some security, so that in the event that your man leaves you, abandons you, starts beating on you, goes, chases another woman, whatever, you're not going to be completely destitute, or you'll have some amount of leverage in that situation, because historically and biologically, women are compromised when we are pregnant and child rearing. So in order to procreate, you have to be willing to put yourself in a vulnerable position as a woman.
So you don't feel as though that it is the woman's responsibility to
For
ensure that she don't keep a souvenir?
Oh, I think it's both. In a modern society, it's both people's party. Historically, it was a woman's responsibility to make sure she didn't get a souvenir, because historically, before the wide availability of contraceptives, the woman was typically the one burdened with the souvenir, whereas the man could always walk away. And historically, again, across all cultures, across all races, the man will just walk away.
So the plan B is for the unexpected, sounds expected, move of the man. So here again, he has control.
Mm.
Why are we allowing this?
Well, because I think
Why are we lowering our standards? Because that's what it really boiled down to.
Okay, I think modern women lower their standards because they don't love themselves, they don't know themselves, and they are looking for love outside of themselves. So when I'm thinking, imagining a very young girl, because I feel like particularly Black women, the biggest stumbling blocks occur when you're very young. I'm talking under the age of 20, 22. They're 16, 18, 19, getting pregnant, catching an STD, and their life is ruined. And I don't mean to say that, but you know what I'm saying. It's real hard after that, right? Making their life way harder, substantially reducing their value on the dating market. So very, very young Black woman, young lady, I feel like it's a combination of lack of guidance, lack of example, lack of self-love and self-worth, lack of investing in yourself to figure out who you are and what you want, because you're projecting your need for love outwardly instead of inwardly.
Okay, David Hood said because it's a man's world. James Brown's after David. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's everybody. It's a collab.
Exactly.
Carla Lee said a gold digger don't care where she digs. They have no limits. That's scary.
I don't know. I feel like the way I've heard gold digger thrown around, I feel like a gold digger can be applied to just a woman with standards. Basically, and that to me personally, that's not a gold digger, but then I know there's some men who will call that woman a gold digger. And I'm thinking just more like from a historical context, Carla, like, I don't know about she'll dig anywhere. And I guess that does make sense because historically, when women weren't even considered human beings, they were property of their husbands. You didn't have much choice. So if you had to go entertain a man that you were repulsed by, you didn't really have much leverage to go find a man that you were actually attracted to either. So in the greater context of history, I feel like that's a little bit unfair, because I do feel like historically, there was a very, very long, for the majority of human history, women really did not have very much voice or agency in who they were paired with.
Yeah, back in history. Okay. Watch this. Go ahead.
Oh, so Tasia Rudolph, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, of Facebook said, "But women make the world go round." Amen.
I think look, that was to that because it's a man's world. Hey, definitely do reproduction, but I don't know. I don't know because these men are stopping it.
I think it's a. I think it's a sector.
Men like, no, listen, they take women out here asking men, they have sex, asking him where's the condom, asking these young men that. I had that conversation with a young guy, and the girl asked, "Well, what did you do with the condom?" He like, "For what?"
Mm-hmm.
It raised the eye, light bulb went off in his head. Like, for what? He was like, "I got it." So these men are taking their condoms, taking their semen with them.
Right, as they should.
So, but you got these females out here that's like, what'd you do with it? Where's it at? Why? Look, my thing, I'm with the young man. What was your plan?
Right. Or I don't know if maybe because I would think just logically, like, maybe she's wondering if it got stuck or if he's just gonna throw it on the floor or something. She wants it to be disposed of
on the floor.
I don't know, girl. I don't know, because I wouldn't ask that question, but I'm just trying to. I'm trying to
on the floor, like, am I gonna get out this bed and step on that?
Exactly, like stuck on the bottom of my foot, right? So other than that, I don't.
Nobody that's that nasty.
It sounds, other than those two things that I can think of that I think are reasonable, it sounds like a nefarious question.
Definitely. Definitely.
She about to have the link baby, or even if it's not a cash register baby, it's one like a lot of men think if you have a baby with a woman, she'll, you're tied together for life, and you are, but it means like forever sexual access or forever communication, which I think it does.
No, it doesn't. Having a child with somebody does not mean forever access.
Not forever access, but forever communication.
Okay.
Like, well, at least, I'm the mother/father of your child. You at least need to respond to my text. And I feel like, because it could be about the kid. So it's just like, this will ensure me I always have a wedge in the door. Like the door is cracked.
Okay. Go ahead.
So David Hood of YouTube said, "I think a gold digger is someone who doesn't have their own or doesn't bring anything to the table. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman seeking a man that is accomplished."
Okay, see, I can appreciate that. I think that you should have high standards.
But okay, right. But is genitalia not bringing something to the table? Looks.
So both are. So
that's bringing something. So
y'all just gonna have that transaction broke? Everybody just, we're not gonna go out to dinner or nothing like that. We're getting ready to just have this transaction and it's over.
Well, I'm just saying, because when so that's my question for that listener is like, do you consider, you said when a woman or a person brings nothing to the table, so is physical attraction and sexual access, do you consider that nothing?
Good question. Okay, that's a fair question. All right, so let's see. Everyone got away. This is another comment. Everyone got away from the traditional roles. Yeah, we're in a new day.
Yes.
Women's empowerment comes with a set of rules that's not viewed as traditional. Yes, it is. But watch this. These men are now coming with a set of rules and the women are complying.
And you think women shouldn't comply?
What'd you say?
And you think women shouldn't comply?
I think women should get the ball back in their court. How did we lose the ball? Matter of fact, we ain't even losing the ball. They ain't even stealing it. We like, here, you go ahead. You check me up. Go ahead. I'll let you go. Like, wait, like, what is happening here? Just here, take it. Win the game.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to be lonely. I'm trying to get some clarity here. Like, what is happening?
I think that women are becoming more independent, but not just, I feel like it started with financial independence, but women were still quite emotionally invested and attached to men, and there's like the status that a relationship brings in society. So then the next step of that was becoming independent, like removing that attachment. Basically, I'm still worthy. I'm still deserving. I'm still a human being. I still have something to contribute to society, even if I'm single, even if I don't have children, even if I can't get a man, even if I can't get a man to marry me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I'm okay without that. So I think in America, in American history, it started out with employment and finances, and now we're shifting into the emotional independence of women.
Well, you want it all, and you know what that old adage, no romance without finance. So that's been going on for history.
Yes.
And yes, it was a status thing to have a man, to have a husband. Then it was to have a man. And then you get with your homegirls and your female anthem, and then you like, I don't need no man. And then you leave your husband and you with her over there, both y'all sad and broke, and listen to Mary J. Blige albums. Is that what's happening?
I don't know. I feel like, man, if you're listening to Mary J. Blige, you down bad. Real talk, you down bad. You don't stop listening to Mary J. Okay, and call your pastor. Okay, you need, because I feel like that song is, I mean, and then she has multiple songs.
Depressing
Yeah.
songs. Go lay down. I'm just gonna lay down, drink this wine, and listen to Mary J.
Right.
That you are what's happening here?
It's bad.
Maybe that's why the guys. But then you have the complainer.
Right.
So maybe that's why a lot of guys are like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't saw that. Or maybe, you know, with the new age guys, maybe they saw their parents, their mom do something. And if they were raised by single mothers, they're like, no, I'm the prize here. Because guess what? You're not going to sit here. Maybe their mother, air quotes for the listening audience, was a gold digger. And they like, it ain't happening to me. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get something out of this because Mr. Charles or Uncle Charles or whoever, you know, I remember he used to come over to the house and my mother used to be talking about him like a dog every time he left. But she got paid and we went to the amusement park. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. Most people learn from what they see. And, you know what I mean?
But I feel like that the other half of that, as far as these men coming out of single mother households, is that they're only around their mother. So they're really,
okay, go. You in the middle of talking, just go.
They really have a feminine mindset. Okay. And so they approach dating in a more feminine energy. I feel like that's part of it.
Now, that could be good. That could be good. Look at you flag your dog like, you know, I'm out here. Nate W. of YouTube said, women are raised not to need a man. So can it be said that they're raised wrong? I wanted to say that for when you completed it.
I'm not going to say they're raised wrong because I think you have to understand ideals. And ideally, you want to be in union. Ideally, you want a partner that you can count on, that you can build together. That's an ideal. That does not equate to reality, because the reality is that sometimes, and depending on your socioeconomic demographics, location, all that background, it can be oftentimes, but we'll just go with sometimes, you won't have a man. And so you won't be in partnership. Okay, so what do? Die? You know, live on the streets? No, you need to have an awareness and an ability to function, thrive. And I want to go ahead and say, be happy, even if you don't get to being in union with a man. So to me, the problem with the statement is the word need. It's like, I don't need a man. No, you don't need a man. Personally, I need Jesus. Okay. But do I need a man? No. Would I like a man? Is a man ideal? Is that an ideal situation? Absolutely. But need? I disagree with that, because it's important. It's just as far as being a responsible parent. You have to teach your child how to function and thrive in the real world and prepare them for multiple outcomes. no one has a set track in life, and you're deaf if you just want a man. And if you wear a skirt, you know, keep your legs closed, you're going to get one. And that's all you need to wear. Like, that's not life. I think it is our responsibility as parents to prepare our children for multiple situations and multiple outcomes. And we're going to hope and steer them towards the best outcome, but still prepare them for the less than desirable outcomes as well.
Okay. Okay. I hear you. Look, I'm like, I hear you. I think that the women need to be able to be self-sufficient and take care of themselves. That's one. I think the men need to be self-sufficient and take care of themselves. But here again, we're going back to the women being gold diggers, but men are being gold diggers. And to the same, we just spoke to it. What did it say? It said it clear. These people want submissive providers. And then telling you what they ain't gonna do. That's where my problem is at. And we are allowing it. Oh, sure, I'll be submissive to you. I'll pay everything. I'll do whatever you need to do. What do you mean you going home? You going back to your mother's house? What? And now your heart broke listening to Amber D. Six. We brought up Mary J. Like, come on.
Well, I wanted to add, we need to raise women to be self-sufficient in the event that they don't partner, right? But I think, and we also need to raise men to be self-sufficient, but also raise men to understand that if you desire to have children, if you desire to have a woman, you need to understand that means, particularly a child, that means that costs money. And if you're not able to care for yourself in addition to others, you don't need to be, then children and a wife are not for you.
Okay, go ahead. You want to go to the comment?
So Carla Lee of Facebook said, my granddaughter, 24 years old, at a party playing Luther Vandross, Barry White. I don't know if she's in love or lonely. She brought me down.
I'm telling you, man, that'd be some real stuff. That'd be some real stuff.
Yeah, it's like you down bad if you listening to some songs. Like,
man. At a party.
Yeah.
I'm mad it was at a party. I'd be like, yeah, look, what's that? Grabbing my purse. I'm out of here. Go ahead.
So Jay Glove of Facebook said, the things you're discussing are literally the wages of sin, falling out of the outline of how God intended for the family to set. Started with sex before marriage. We were doomed from the start.
Okay, so we got our past. He spoke about the past. Let's talk about the future. How do we correct that? Let me get to this next comment. Go ahead.
Okay, so Bobby W. Jefferson Jr. of Facebook said, I was raised to not need a woman. I want a woman. Okay, and a part of that want means there's requirements. And so I think that, and as the previous commenter, thank you for commenting and participating in the conversation. I think a part of that is women closing their legs and men zipping up their pants. So men being like, I'm not going to give this woman who's a mess sexual access. She's not going to get the eggplant. That's right. Yes. Be more selective. So
what does she have to do to get it?
She needs to be independent. She needs to be self-sufficient. She needs to be able to pay her own bills. But the exact same thing is true for men in addition, because if men want to be the leaders and they want submission, you have to lead to get submission. You don't get submission by just asking for it. You need to demonstrate that you're worthy of it. And then if the woman is still not submitting, then she's the problem. It's time for you to move on.
Is she the problem, or maybe she's just not into him? Because women become submissive if they're really into the guy. If she sees the masculinity.
Oh, in her eyes. Again, this goes back to women are individuals. Not every woman is going to value the same qualities in a man. That's why one woman will sit here and fawn and chase after a man and think he's God's gift. And another woman is like, listen, if I can get a free meal out of him, I guess I'll take it, but I could really care less. So And I feel like that is something that men need to address, is acknowledging that women are individuals, and what worked with one might not work with another. What one woman values in a man, another woman may not care about said item. So making sure your ideals are in alignment and complement each other.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm all for men zipping up their pants. I'm for it. I totally support it.
Okay. I got you.
And I feel like historically a part of the problem was expecting women to close their legs, but saying it's okay for young men to sit here and go stick their thingy in any wet hole available because they're just boys and they're sowing their wild oats. No, as the previous commenter said, you're stepping away from God. And that's outside of the original design of things.
Okay, what about those who aren't, since everybody's so spiritual now, because they're moving away from, they be like, what's your religion? I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And I think that's from church hurt. But it's like, okay, I love God, but I just don't love y'all. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what if they don't have that same upbringing as the previous commenter?
Well,
so it's like, wait a minute, or they weren't exposed to it, because a lot of people aren't believers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that's the traditional way. I'm changed, I move, I'm woke, or whatever y'all got. Throw yours in there, whichever one. But what about that person that's like, okay, that's then, I understand what was, will be, but right now in this moment, what do we do until the will be comes? Give me answers today.
I think that if you're a person who wasn't raised in the church, you're not religious, or maybe you're spiritual, I think you can learn from yourself, learn from your own experiences, take a moment to self-reflect and say, okay, I had this experience with this person. I felt these emotions, and then XYZ happened during that connection. And this is how I felt after that connection ended. And just looking at yourself, you can figure out what matters to you and what triggered you, what upset you, what needs you had that weren't ever met. So even if you don't have a larger framework or a traditional framework to work from or work within, you can still just go based off yourself, or even take it a step further to give yourself a little bit of framework if you're not religious. This is what I observed from my mother. This is what I observed from my father, from their romantic experiences. And this is how it influenced me. And this is what I want. And this is what I don't want. That will help you establish a romantic framework as well, even if you're not a religious person.
Okay. Let's say this. So it's all about perspective. But here we are with perspective. Perspective isn't always true.
Ooh.
So when it's like, okay, this is what I see, but what you see may not be true.
Especially from the vantage point of a child. And I feel like, as most people, as you mature and enter into your own adulthood, into your own romantic lives, you hopefully start to realize more and more that you had very little understanding of what you observed in childhood from your parents. And the conclusion you come to as an adult may be very different from the conclusion you had come to as a child, or just maybe more complex and more nuanced. But again, that goes back to just like self-growth and having some level of awareness, and taking the time to reflect on your childhood, on the good and the bad, and where you could have came to the wrong conclusion about something that you had seen or overheard or whatever.
I'm glad these guys are setting a standard for themselves.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad that they're setting a standard for themselves and saying, my body is precious. Yes. I'm not just getting ready to get this to you, because real talk is usually the guy that got to put in all the work. But I heard that these chicks is really putting in the work and these guys is getting real lazy.
Okay. Because you had asked me earlier what was popping. And I don't know if you heard about I don't even know what the name of their podcast is, but they got booted off Twitter because there's two white men was talking about how they were too scared to approach black women because they did say some black women are, you know, they don't think they could satisfy, and they have such, they're so sexual and they will F you back.
But isn't that what the people want?
Well, to me,
or what they call it, vanilla. Isn't that being vanilla when you don't?
Well, no, I don't even think that's it. I think so. People were saying, okay, this is racism covered by insecurity and self-deprecation, but the root of it is racist. And they're based, and there was a lot of people commenting saying they were offended, and they got the boot off of the platform, basically. And I guess it's a pretty large podcast. And when I first listened to it, all I heard was insecurity, and I'm like,
see, that's what, from what you shared, that's what I got, and you just told me that white girls don't.
Exactly. And so I'm like, if I was a white girl, I would be offended. Like, excuse me, I move. And why is that weird? Like, how is that so aggressive? Like, you don't move when you're having intercourse. Like, you know, it was sounding like the dudes,
the transaction.
Exactly. It sounded like these dudes that were discussing the topic. They really sounded to me like they'd be like, and she put my pee-pee in her mouth. Like, that's how it's like. It's just like, it was, they made themselves look bad, honestly. But as a black woman, I do want to say, yes, that I think that there was a level of racism within that, because they could have just said, I'm not attracted to black women. That's okay, sir. That's fine. But not saying like, oh, they're so sexual and I don't think I could satisfy them. I don't want to go somewhere and I'm going to be a disappointment.
I'm like, just, hey, there you go. Bye, see you. But hey, they spoke their truth.
Right.
Their perception. That was their
Exactly.
There you go. Carla Lee, Facebook says, so what does being spiritual mean? Carla Lee, darling, let me tell you, I can just give you my perspective, my perception of it, but I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that you go visit Unpolitically Correct, where Pastor Todd and Pastor Jeff have their podcast, which is amazing. There are some pastors, they can give you the right answer. And I'm using air quotes for the listening audience. I kind of, I'll talk about it all, but I don't want to educate you on something I don't really know all about. You know what I mean? I don't want to I don't want to misguide nobody when it comes to God.
Right.
Let me lead you in the right direction. Okay.
Well, I mean, I can give one definition.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Royal College of Psychiatrists.
Oh, I can do that. Go ahead.
All right. I'm sorry to say spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or a sense of belief that there is something greater than myself, something more to being human than sensory experience, and that the greater whole of which we are a part of is cosmic or divine in nature. So just more of a general feeling of a higher power, but not necessarily clearly defined the way it is in organized religion, is what I got from that.
Good one. The definition, actual definition. But I like our people to go in and I shout my people out too at the same time. And they could just give it to you plain, especially us as a culture and our upbringing. And a lot of people, you know, when we're brought up, like you were talking about, how they perceive things to be, talking about the new age men. And I was speaking on how they probably saw their aunts, parents, you know, their moms saying, okay, and using Mr. Charles. That was my example, air quotes. Like, I will never be Mr. Charles. Watch this. They're gonna have to work for this, D. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know. Now you said experiences, talking about their experiences. A lot of people, these new age guys, they don't really have experiences, and their experiences is actually what they visualize. But
yes, I feel like that, and it's something that's happening with women, but not as much. Even with the increase in loneliness in American society with like the digital age, women are doing better than men with a loneliness. And as far as dating, and more women are just not dating because they don't want to, whereas men, there was a whole article about it, men are dating because they don't have options. And so a lot of their experience, romantic, but particularly sexually, is just through like pornography. So it's like they have ideas through outside sources like pornography, like podcasts. You know, they're giving these messages and telling them what to do, right? But they're not having their own actual real life experiences with women. And I feel like that's definitely a major part of the problem. Like they're sitting at home on their computers in a basement and not actually interacting with real life breathing women. And they're just going off what some person
not the balloon. Not the balloon, not the mannequin, not the Jeffrey Dahmer mannequin. We're not talking about that, right?
The silicone versions. The silicone.
What are we doing here? What are we talking about?
And so I feel like men who have a healthy balance between like male, and that's another thing, the whole like bros over hoes movement, and like where men
that's an anthem. But
thank you.
They go find a female, but like don't they be like, where you at? Oh, I'm going to the gym. They be over some broad's house. Stop.
It's a part that is a part of the problem. And you'll see, I think men who have like equal relationships, who have relationships with men and relationships with women, tend to be like more balanced and rational, whereas these men who have very little experience or interaction with women, or and double fold if they don't even have very many interactions with other men, they tend to have these like very negative experiences and perceptions, and they tend to not do well romantically. And that I feel like, and the root cause of that is because they don't see women as human beings, as people.
Okay.
So then it makes it harder to even have a relationship with someone if you don't even view them as a person.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. Let's get these shop topics out of the way.
All right.
Okay. So Matthew knows. Matthew knows baby's mama. That wasn't crazy at that age. Matthew knows baby's mama said that Beyonce don't talk to her or her son.
I just want to say, to me, this is another example of the good of the internet, because she got dragged, and praise God for it. Because I was like, I hope people don't fall for this nonsense, and they didn't. And she got dragged as she should have.
She needed to, because first of all, why are you reaching out to his daughter?
Woo, because she the one with the money.
And then the son talking about something. Why don't she like me? Well, you know what, lady? If your son came to you and asked you that question and seen there was an issue, I'm gonna need for you to sit your child down and let him know exactly why.
Right.
Oh, you're just destroying her family.
Right.
Your mom made a decision to destroy her family with her dad, which the mother didn't. She just agreed to whatever he had going on. Now, here's my thing. I said, she said that he was backed up on child support. That ain't Beyonce's problem.
Okay.
That's the daughter.
Right. She didn't make the baby.
Right. He backed up on child support and you live in a trailer home. Boom. Bad decision, man. It looked good. Because see, you was with him based off his daughter, clearly. That's what it sounds like. And then you got yourself a souvenir. Now you don't even know how to sit there and pay for your child. Go to Matt Knowles. Yeah, I'm calling him Matt because that's a straight up Matt move. Get out of here.
But you know what? It's not even, I said, see, they not putting Matthew Knowles on blast because he already told them IDGAF.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He done made his feelings known, and that's okay. Let's move on to another target. And moving from target to target to address your needs is very opportunistic. And
why didn't she say Solange?
Because she knows Solange will give her that work. That's why. Okay, and it's people like this, they know who to come for. This is a great example of that, because no, they ain't come for Matthew. They ain't come for Solange. But Beyonce is known for being silent. Like, that is her strategy. And they're like, oh, let me sit here and try to shame her.
Well, she got shamed over there. You made a bad decision and you didn't slept with this man, had the souvenir. Now you stuck in a trailer park and he back on child support. Figure that out. Hurry up. Maybe you'll
Good
get
luck
something
to
because the
you.
oldest all get out. But Matt knows if you listening to Shop Talk with Mel, what you should have done was took note from Joe Jackson, because Joe Jackson had that child around the corner. I mean, was she even around the corner? I think it was like down the street. Her mother and herself, they kept it quiet. He visited. We just found out about this young lady. Like, to be honest with you, like really out. Matt, you should have got some info from Joe Jackson before he departed this earth. If you're gonna be that dude, for real, if you're gonna be that dude, you need to talk to some people that have done it and how they control their women.
And I feel like, well, I hate to use the word control, but I feel like men, particularly American men, need to be honest if they desire to have a polygamous relationship. Be transparent. Be honest if you're desiring polygamy. Okay. And then the issue is that they know that the women that they desire won't agree to it. So then they can't be honest. And that's why there's all this deception and, your
side chick got to be in check. He got to be able to control that side chick. So I'm going to use the word control. If you're going to have a side chick, you got to make sure she in check.
But I don't think you should have a side chick. I think everybody should.
Of course, we don't think you should have a side chick, but it's the world and it's going round. So it does happen. And that's why I could write the book, How the Wife Becomes the Other Woman. Available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Balboa Press. Go ahead and pick that up. $9.99. It's reasonable paperback. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Help you get out. But that's how these things come. And it's like, this is not back in the day, how many families? Whole bunch of families. But guess what? Those families just, boom, he went over there, did what they did. I don't know what they had. I don't know if they had a meeting and was like, okay, this is the family. Just don't bring that over here or bring it over here. And it's okay for you to have two families. Because a lot of people will sit at the table and say, all right, well, I don't like you anyway, but whatever. Okay, but you ain't leaving because you're going to pay these bills. You're going to handle this over here.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are in agreement, then fine, but don't sound like this chick was in agreement,
And he was probably telling her all kinds of pillow talk. I'm gonna leave her, and we think, So, and I just feel like if you want to do, because polygamy is not anything new. Again, if you want to do it, go on and do it, but be honest, have integrity with it. It's called ethical non-monogamy. Where the problem is,
in lay terms, don't cheat.
Don't cheat. And if you're a man and you need to have multiple women, be honest about that, and you will find women that are okay with it. They're into it, and they're.
Right, let's move on. Keke Palmer goes to social media about her boyfriend. What's your thoughts?
I called it. That's why
you did. You definitely
called
did.
it now.
What's your thoughts? Go ahead.
I just wish them the best. Wish the baby's gonna be fine. People are trying to project, in my opinion, oh, the poor child, oh, the baby, and it's like, and I read a comment. I said, thank you. That's a nepo baby, a second generation nepo. That kid's gonna be fine. Let's get over that, okay? That is a nepotism baby. That baby will be just fine. And I did see the interview where Keke talked about how she was really big on keeping her relationships private. And that was like one of her hard rules. Like, she does not like her business in the tabloids and the details of her relationship. So she
knew they were going to dig when she came like she came.
Well, he put it out there.
No, she had the baby. If she had not had that child, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Meaning, people wouldn't have been like, oh, okay, what about the boyfriend? Then, the people start digging. They was like, oh, wait, she just had a baby. What about the baby daddy? Hold on. And then they tried to slander him and say all that he wasn't. These people don't know. Listen, people, y'all better stay true to who you are and know you. And know what you know, and don't fall into all this extra stuff, your reality. I'm like, this here reality stuff, it really ain't reality. Real talk. And then we're going to go into that on the next topic. Let me finish this up real quick. You see she's staying with him?
I don't know.
I think she is. I think she is. And the dudes was dragging Kiki.
Yes.
They went on her appearance crazy. And I thought that was foul. And I'm like, why are they dragging her when she's not the one even speaking? It's the internet speaking to each other. And then they attack the actual people that's dealing with the situation. Should he have done that publicly on Twitter? Should he have done it publicly?
No.
You say no. Guess what I said?
Yes.
I say yes. You know why I say yes?
Uh-huh.
Because that is who he is. He felt comfortable enough to do it. So clearly he did what he chose to do. There you
now,
go.
Allegedly,
private, she don't do that. But what did she do? She succumbed to this mess. Like, come on. If you guys want to talk about them, go ahead, because I want to talk about Jamie Foxx being spotted.
Okay. No, I mean, no, it's fine.
Okay. Jamie Foxx was allegedly spotted, and I say that for a reason. Did you see the picture?
On the boat.
Did you see the picture of Jamie Foxx being spotted? Did you zoom in and see Jamie Foxx?
No.
I didn't see Jamie Foxx. He don't look like Jamie Foxx. Now, I'm going to go follow me down this rabbit hole. I ain't going to go too deep in it.
Okay.
Keith Sweat. I feel like Jamie Foxx probably with Keith Sweat. Somebody got Keith Sweat tied up. And he said, listen, I'm about to go out there. Y'all know I'm a writer, though. I'm about to go out there, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to act like you, and I'm going to sing your songs, and everybody is going to look at me and say, oh, that's Keith Sweat. He's going to be like, dude, you don't even look like me. How's that going to happen? Watch. Boom. The people looking, and we all saying, that don't look like Keith Sweat. But then he's singing the song, and we all say, oh, well, I guess that's Keith Sweat. Maybe he shaved. And accepting. We are so accepting of everything. People, know your reality and know it as it is or was. Come on. I don't care what nobody say. Keith Sweat. I want to see Lisa Wu. Lisa Wu was his ex-wife. Lisa Wu, is that what he looked like when he shaved everything off and get like a relaxer? And his dancing. I know how Keith Sweat used to dance. I was like, that ain't Keith Sweat. Where is Keith Sweat? Where is Kanye?
He's there. I think that's Kanye. Yeah, I think that's Kanye. But I have a question, a medical question, Mel.
Let's see. Hopefully I can answer it.
So doesn't people, when they have like major stuff happen to them medically, like a stroke or a heart attack, and it impacts like their nervous system, like when people stroke victims, like their half of their face goes, slack. Like, isn't it possible that his face may have gotten puffy or something from his medical emergency?
From prednisone, like me,
or whatever went.
Yeah, he can look different. But Keith Sweat looked like an ape. He looked like a monkey now. I don't know what medical condition that could possibly be. I don't know.
Because I feel like, sometimes people, especially with strokes, like if they're, even if they regain movement in their face, it kind of might not be exactly,
the same as it was
before.
Well, you don't expect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still look at the person, their face might be a little, deformed. It may be in some cases not, but the difference.
Yeah. Right? I don't know. The conspiracies are already running rampant.
Mine is. Yeah. Y'all already know. Mine is. So there you have it. We're gonna do Mel's medical moment since this is it. All right, listen. When people have a stroke, usually if the right side of the brain is affected, it affects the left side of the body, and the opposite. Okay. I'm trying to see here. It is. I'm gonna do it at the end because it's a little lengthy. I'll do it at the end. I promise you, and I'll tell you what part of the body is affected by which side of what type of stroke that you have. Hey, and then you guys can kind of know somebody who have a stroke and be like, "Oh, wait a minute, here we go. This is it." Yeah. All right, let's go with Monique. She came. Monique came to the social media. You thought she came to the house?
Okay.
Monique came back to talk to the people, but she came to apologize. So she came with different energy, which is really cool. And what she said is, I apologize to my babies that I offended about wearing the bonnets out in public.
I respect it. And I think it's wonderful that her apology, her first apology, as far as I know, her first apology is to fellow Black women. So
to what? Oh, her apologies for fellow Black.
Yeah, her first public apology.
What she said, I apologize. They are not bonnets. They're shower caps. So she wanted to apologize because they were shower caps.
Well, the ones I've seen are bonnets. Because they're not waterproof. It's not waterproof. It's not a shower cap.
Well, is it a bonnet? Because the Little House on the Prairie people be wearing the bonnets and the Amish people be wearing the bonnets.
Right. Those are bonnets too. They're different styles of bonnets.
There y'all go taking on these folks stuff. She said they shower caps, but you're right, it gotta be waterproof. But watch this. The bonnet, air quotes for the listening audience, the bonnet is to the female as the wave cap is to the male.
I agree.
Don't be outside wearing your wave cap, sir.
It's definitely sending a message.
Yeah, it's sending lazy to me. Or I do have this question, even with the bonnet, seeing them out in public, who you saving your hairstyle for?
Somebody very special. very
the public ain't special. Oh man, I got my hair done. Bum, y'all can't see this. I'm gonna take it out. When?
Right. And I feel like, but you know what? I understand both sides, because I don't wear a bonnet out in public. Unless I'm going, you know what I'm saying, something very special is happening and I want my hair to be like as fresh as possible. Because I feel like I've got to certain places.
What'd you just say?
I wear a bonnet if it's like, yeah.
Oh.
But that's like once a year. That's like to a wedding or something. You know what I'm saying? Like something real special.
How about don't go outside with your bonnet?
Because usually you gotta run and pick something up. It's usually just to go pick something up. But if you just walk around your daily life, like, no, I don't do that. But because I feel like I've been places where I'm just like, look at these people. I'm supposed to care about how I look in front of these folks.
You're supposed to care about how you look for yourself.
I mean, yeah, and that's not gonna be, for me, that's not 24/7. So I get it. But like on the flip side, you just
Carla Lee said no, Amber D.
I'm sorry, Carla. I'm sorry. Okay. So
no.
Hey. I mean, you know, I'll take it off most of the time, but you know, I've definitely
most of the time. Listen, that's what you sleep. That's privilege. That's a privileged look. We are taking privileged looks out in public, wearing your pajamas out in public. That's privilege. If you see me like that, we real close. If you see me with a bonnet on, we real close.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my home with that. No, y'all don't get to see that. Yeah. Nope, not happening. And then everybody, go ahead, do your thing. No, you just run into the store. Yeah, okay. How did I allow you to talk me into going? Oh, we got Brittany X. Let's see what Brittany X said. Hold on here. There you go, Amber D.
Bonnets and Pug gives PJ energy. Yeah, definitely.
And you, I'm glad you spoke your truth. You was like, who are these people I'm dressing up for? You dressing up for yourself. Every moment is an opportunity. Listen, every moment is an opportunity, and every person that you meet is an interview.
No.
I know you probably don't want to hear, but it is the truth. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
True. I'm not saying I go out in public all the time with bonnets, y'all. Dang.
One time.
I'm just saying it's not that I've never not done that.
But I appreciate your honesty. But I got to give it to you like I'm going to give it to anybody else. When I see them, I'll be like, airport. I understand you don't want to mess your hair up, but the bonnet, like, I'm okay with a scarf. Tie one of them, hoop it up. Do
a turban. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean,
One of
I
them
think
Nick
that
Cannon
airport, to me,
truck
an
things.
airport is very different than like Walmart or the dollar store. You know, there's a lot of different people. There's different socioeconomic classes of people at an airport.
I got
But
a problem with
corner
that
store,
statement.
come on now.
You might see me at the dollar store. You can't. I don't get that much. I can't get that.
No, nah, bro. No,
That's crazy.
nah, bro.
That's crazy. That's why dudes holding back the eggplant. They like, nah, listen, I can't even get a good look. Like, I can't get no lip
Right. You
gloss.
know
Like,
what? You get that look when you take me out on a date, sir.
but how you know what the date gonna look like? As I stated,
It's
look,
a surprise.
as I stated, lovely people, when you go out in public, every person you meet is an interview. Every person you meet is an interview. Every person that you walk past, watch this. I know you're gonna be like, here we go. Every person, even in passing, when you look at that person, that's an interview. Tell me it's not.
I agree.
You look, boom. This is how you know. You in a restaurant. Boom, somebody walk in. Interview, they look crazy. You be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Boom. Come on.
Yeah, but that right to me, yeah, there's this, it's just you know what I'm saying? It's not like all the time. I'm just saying, like, in my life I have. But I'm not gonna sit here and not say
You
I
ain't gotta
don't put
defend yourself.
different
You ain't gotta defend
levels,
yourself. Don't take it personal.
different levels of value assigned to different spaces.
Look, watch. Oh, see, okay, there we go. 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. Call in, text, do what you want to do. I got a text. Yeah, those bonnets set us back 400 years.
Wow, I think that's really dramatic. I would say
Right.
that not voting.
I got to speak to this person though. I won't say that the bonnet set us back 400 years. 45 set us back 400 years.
Mm.
The problem is we allowed it. And that's why we are here today, right now. Mm-hmm. Because he's doing it. Make America great again. 400 years back, that was their grade. Right. And we are allowing it, just sitting back like, boom. Nuh-uh. Mm-mm. Look at the Karens. That's why the Karen feel like she can Karen.
I agree.
I hate to get deep. I understand. No, I understand where you was going with that, but I got to bring the truth. Right. Like, I got to bring the truth. So that's what we need to do. And we women need to take our pride in our boxes, in our privates. We need to take pride in it and hold on tight to it instead of just sitting there like, ugh, come on.
But you know what? That's something historically, yes, women have had to take pride in their boxes and protect their boxes. And the new thing is men starting to take pride in their eggplants.
And I can appreciate that. I can. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing because I know, like, what I'm noticing with the younger generation is that they'll say, I'm not trying to have children. So they're big on contraceptives and who they deal with and who they lay down with. When I sit around, like, you know, my nephews and my son, and I listen to them, I be ear hustling. I like to see that they choose wisely. And even if it's somebody that they might be dating, they'll be like, no. Oh, you gonna marry her? Nah, you'll date her, but she's not clean enough. Like, her home is not clean enough. Or, you know, they're looking for certain characteristics that they want in a wife. And I'm able to actually hear a man's perspective on certain things. I was like, that's pretty cool. Okay. You like what you like. Mm-hmm. And no, I'm not trying to have children right now. I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do. And this is what they get. Oh, you selfish. Now, you remember it was a time when it was like, oh, they out there having all these babies and blah, 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 blah. But now the young and the females too, the younger generation is like, no, I'm not about to have a baby. I'm trying to live my best life. And they understand the responsibility that comes with it. And then you have the older people that are saying, oh, you're selfish.
Well,
it sounds like older people are selfish because you want to be a grandparent so bad. Stop.
Yeah, well, I thought you meant the girl that he was rejecting was saying you're selfish.
Oh, no. Just other people.
other
don't think
people.
the younger, listen, some of these young girls, they got it going on. They do. Some of them want to trap somebody looking at the fine car that they have, and they dress nice. They do that because they don't have responsibility. Once they have responsibility, then you're gonna get mad at them, and you got a child talking about, well, I need this and I need child support and I need that. Dude, I ain't have it. I
Mm.
can't look. This is what I have. Now I no longer have this. Now you don't want to be submissive to me because I don't have these things and I look like a bum to you and you want to call me a bum. Come on, we can't have it both ways. We gotta we gotta figure out what do we want. Either we hot or cold. We can't be lukewarm. Let it do what it do and enjoy life. That's what I'm saying. I want to do these Q-tips.
All right.
Now, I think we talked about it, but I'm not for sure. As far as like polite habits, I want to break them down because
Okay.
this was a request. When you host a party,
Okay.
do you like people arriving early?
No. I think that's pretty universal. Because I read an article about that, and the people like polite habits people don't actually like.
Oh, okay. So, okay, you read the article too. So
Yeah.
I was sitting there arriving early. Okay, Carla Lee said no. All
Yeah.
right.
Because when you're hosting, usually you're stressed out, and there's always at least a few last minute things you need to take care of, and then you got someone giving, even if they're very polite, even if they offer to be helpful, it applies pressure to you as the host. And it's like, no, I needed that last 30 minutes to like polish off a few things, So
how about don't open the door?
That's also
How's the hall be like closed?
a close.
Sit in your car and wait. You came 30 minutes, read a book, 30, do something like that. Scroll on your phone for 30, go
Right.
to Facebook. We know that works. And most times when people arrive early, they insist on helping. I think that you should actually call if you feel like, hey, do you need something? I'm out, and go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Waiting to be the first person in line to eat when you come and you say, hey, come in line. Come on there, y'all can eat. Do you ever have people that's just sitting there waiting and everybody looking at each other?
Well, yes. And I think that happens all the time. And I think that goes back to just like social norms and courtesy and stuff. And that's why they'll usually do it by age or do it by table.
That's why they had to do that, because won't nobody get up.
Well, or everyone bombards it, and then the line is like way too long. It's like, well, you might as well sit down till the line gets shorter. So I think it's a part of hosting to instruct who can go to the table.
Okay. How about filling up? Like, I'm talking about filling up, cleaning up.
After the party?
After the party. Are you okay with your guests cleaning up after the party?
Yes. And I mean, it depends, because a lot of times when you're cleaning up, stuff is going to all different parts, like storage or whatever, the deep storage, and you may not want people all over your house. So it really just depends.
Okay.
Yeah. Or sometimes, especially if you're hosting people at your house that you're not super familiar with, you may not want them peeking in the cabinets and that type of stuff, I think it's just a comfort level thing, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. All right. Carly said yes. Okay. The unsolicited dish. Do you what do you do with that dish? Somebody comes to your event and they say I brought a dish. And
it was not solicited.
Yeah, like y'all didn't talk about it. You bring boom, boom, boom. What do you do with that dish?
I would thank them for it, and I would put it out still. And then I would shut my mouth, and then I would probably I don't even know what I would do. I think it's one of those things where you proper etiquette is to not say anything, even in response to their not doing the right thing, the proper thing.
Put it in the oven. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, good solution.
Somebody with me. Look, put it in the back.
Yeah, okay. That's a good solution. Yeah, because I'm just like,
Put it in the oven, girl. By the time they go up there and look for their stuff, you be like, I forgot to put it out.
Yeah.
Now, when you have, I'm glad. Shout out to you, James Reddick. When you have a caterer, he's a caterer. Okay. When you have a catered event, and somebody brings that dish,
that's crazy. But to me, because I feel like that's more than just maybe my first thought is a misunderstanding, a miscommunication. Second thought, good intentions. Okay, and then the third thought is there's some malicious
TV
behind it. Yeah,
TV. You be like, is everybody gonna get sick? Well, but see, my thing is, when food is catered, and somebody wants to bring a dish, I will be like, thank you, but no thank you, because if someone gets sick, they can go right to the caterer.
Right.
Versus, what's in yours? Do people have allergies? Oops, they didn't know. They didn't see that. It was made with peanut oil. And you be like, well, I ain't seen no nuts, so I ate it. You know what I mean? It can just get, everybody's so happy right now, and people can't die. I mean, I ain't going to, minimize it. But I think if you have a caterer, just let the caterer do the catering. And if anything go wrong, you give them his or her card.
Okay.
Follow up. I'm done. I'm out. But throw it in the oven or put it in the back, like he said. Put it in the back. I forgot. Oh, here, take it back.
So I was thinking, like, you're cooking, preparing the food, or maybe you have select people cooking. But in the event of a catered, I would absolutely give it back to them.
Yeah, I did both scenarios. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. If it was a paid catering service, I would give it back to them because of those liability issues and not wanting to compromise your caterer.
Okay, how about that person that brings the worst dish? It's nasty. Their whole family likes it, but everybody else says it's nasty and won't tell the person that it's nasty, and they bring their famous dish.
It's just gonna
be in the back again. It's gonna be in the oven.
I mean, I'll put it out, but it's just gonna be in the trash. We know where it's gonna end up. So
how do you discreetly put it in the trash? Is that
no? I mean, no, because after the food's over, after the serving of the food's over and it's time to clean up, that's going to be one of those dishes like, oh, there's not enough space in the refrigerator.
You know what, though? People be sitting there making dishes and they go up and they walk to look to see and be like, dang, mine's still full.
Right? We good.
Wait, you remember at work we had that potluck and it
was like macaroni with like meat and corn.
Yes.
That tray was full. The tray was full still. And look at that, like, who made this?
Who brought the turtle soup?
Right.
In the crock pot. What is that? You lost me as soon as you shouldn't have put turtle soup. Should have just, but I'm glad for the warning.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I appreciate a warning. Warn me, please. I want to, because I'm an adventurous eater. I'll try stuff.
Wait. What all was in the macaroni?
It was macaroni and cheese, and it had like ground beef. There was corn and like red peppers and something else.
What was that, like hamburger helper type?
Exactly. It was like a big tray of hamburger helper, but it looked like the macaroni was like soggy, like it got overcooked. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, floating macaroni. No,
it didn't look right.
I know one thing. They was like, "Oh, I made you a plate. Don't worry." I was like, "Okay." Now how I'll get out of this?
Don't eat it. Just don't eat it.
No,
then you have to put
where my office was at. You know where my office was. Then they come back, they peeking in, seeing the bowl still over there.
You gotta put the plate in the trash face down. Okay, or take a second plate and put it on top of it and then put it down.
Or throw it away when you get home. Okay.
I'll be like, I'm gonna take it home and then throw it away. Yeah, see, look at that. Solutions. We
got that. Here's the problem. We gonna give you the solution. Okay. That's a good thing. Uncle Steve Harvey said, and I can't remember what I was watching. I watch a lot and get a lot of content. He was saying that it is foolish to work 2 or 3 jobs. Like, okay, I'm gonna surmise it real quick. So, what's the dollar amount? You want to see what the dollar amount you're trying to make a year.
Okay.
Got that. Then after you do that dollar amount, you're like, okay, if I'm trying to make 100,000.
Okay.
So he was saying it's ridiculous to work 2 and 3 jobs, well, 3 and 4 jobs. Let me correct that. 3 and 4 jobs to make 100,000 when you can actually get yourself prepared to work 1 job to make that 100,000.
That is foresight, and you need to have foresight and practice foresight in order to do that. So I completely agree with him. But if you're only living moment to moment and you personally don't value the future, and you're not raised or socialized in an environment where the future is prioritized and discussed, and the validity of preparing for the future is not your norm, then it's going to be hard for you to execute that in reality. And I feel like a lot of people who have multiple jobs like that, it's a very hand to mouth existence.
It is, but watch this. Is it even really hand to mouth? Because you don't have time to enjoy it. You're working. I'm working, and now I'm exhausted. Now I'm, snapping at people, upset because I'm tired to make this amount of money, to make ends meet for this gold digger I'm dealing with. I had to.
Had to throw it in.
I had to. Sorry.
I mean, and my first question is, well, who needs $100,000 to live comfortably? But again, that goes back to self-reflection, and then getting the numbers set. To me, so I didn't want to make $100,000. That's something like a middle school, elementary school student would say. You know what I'm saying? Who's someone has no actual basis in financial reality, nor should they. But as you become an adult, it is beneficial to really figure out, okay, this is what I want to have in my life. This is the life I want to lead. And it's going to cost roughly about X amount of dollars to achieve these things. And that will vary from place to place because the cost of living varies from city to city. So for the means, if you're doing all of you got to do the math. We got to bring the math into the equation at some point. It can't just be romance. If you're dealing with a woman and she's pushing you outside of your limits, then is it worth it? Is she worth your health? To a lot of dudes it is. So it's like, okay.
All right, I got a text.
Okay.
And it pretty much says, put it all together. Why don't Black people stick together?
Because
wait a minute, they stick together on jobs, non-union jobs. People stick together on jobs, but we as Black people don't stick together. Go ahead.
I think slavery.
And it was to you.
Oh, okay. To make it short and sweet, slavery, that's our history. Because the different nations that we came from in Africa were unified, and then when African immigrants come to America, they still have that sense of community and unity. And I feel like the level of disunity within the Black community is directly related. It's rooted in slavery, because prior to slavery, we came from cultures that valued unity. So
I think we still have that though,
to an extent, but not like other communities.
Watch this. How often have we been in another state and you happen to run into somebody and you're at a place and you find out they're from your state? They're like, "Oh, I'm from Ohio." Me too. What? Well, guess what? Y'all kicking it the whole time.
Yep.
At the place.
Yep.
Automatically. So, I mean, I guess I kind of get it a little bit, but to me, it's about interests. Now, I can stick together with you, but if you abstract and it's coming from a different place and that's not where I am, I'm not your girl. I'm real talk. I'm not. Michael Strahan, when he said like work, Michael Strahan, what was it? Good Morning America.
Okay.
Some of the people, they had some issues within themselves. Okay. And they were talking about, I guess they weren't working. The other two co-anchors, they, wasn't at work or wasn't working. So they got some issues going on there. and alleged Michael Strahan decide, okay, well, I'm gonna do it. Y'all know he the only melanated one on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gonna be getting replaced. How about that? So that might be the reason people aren't really sticking together anymore, because they know that now they're like, oh, okay, well, you want to jump on the bandwagon, well, you can be replaced. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These folks, we really want them. You could be replaced. And it could be a money thing too. How much are they paying him? And you want to go ahead and walk out? Okay, bye. We can save some money.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things to take into consideration. We talked about last week, I think we was off air when we were talking about the celebrities who are related. Remember, we just happened to just be talking and I mentioned it. Well, there's a few. Bill Bellamy and Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, okay.
Cousins. Cousins. And it was so funny because Bill Bellamy was on the Sherry Shepherd show and he was saying how Shaq used to sit at the teacher's desk. He said, and they would be in the classroom. Another student was like, why he get to sit at the teacher's desk? He couldn't fit nowhere.
Right. That was my first thought. It was like, it was, most ergonomic for him. Yeah.
You don't know how people are, why they ain't teacher's pet. Where else is he supposed to sit? That's funny, but that's children. Nas, rapper Nas, and the actress on Blackish, Yara Shahidi.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg and Brandy.
Okay.
And Sweetie and Gabrielle Union.
Okay.
How about that? Isn't that something? I was like, oh, I thought that was like interesting. I was like, let me talk about that. The Nats. Did we talk about the Bugs? The Nats, the guy who was riding down the street in New York.
No.
And had bugs on him. It's a video that went viral. And all these gnats got on them. Well, honey, they not gnats. I forgot what they call them. They call them something different, but they're not gnats, but they look like gnats. But I'm gonna tell you a home remedy for gnats while I'm at it. If you don't fruit flies, is that what they call them? Post for the listening audience. All you have to do is get a little cup. If you're a drinker, I know you got a shot glass in the cupboard. Grab that, pour some rubbing alcohol in that glass, a little small glass, like a shot glass, and just set it out wherever your fruit or whatever is, or if they're wherever they are in your house. You just set it out. They don't like to smell. They'll just migrate away. You get a cute one though. It don't have to be even a shot glass, like a little candle, something small like that. And boom, they're gone. Well, they're leaving New York. Now, I don't know where they're going, but that's what New York said. Don't worry about it. They'll be gone soon. I don't know where they're going.
The wind's going to carry them away to somewhere else.
We're going to have to go in the house.
Right.
Go back in the house and see what's going on. Shirley Strawberry and her fraudulent husband, air quotes for the listening audience, alleged. I'm saying alleged. Now, what do you do with that information? Who does the Strawberry letter all the time? And they say that she married a fraud.
I think because I believe Steve Harvey has come out and gave her a public ultimatum because he's been implicated into it. And he's
been implicated into it because he set him up, I believe.
Okay, yes, but
Cynthia Bailey and
but you know what? It's still her responsibility to vet. Like, that's still on you.
It is.
And then on top of that, the people were saying, okay, Steve Harvey set him up. Okay, but when she came out with the letter, the affidavit to the judge to begging him to release him to her or whoever, I was like, well, maybe Steve Harvey wasn't that wrong because he knows both of them, and you see how she did that. So maybe Steve Harvey wasn't wrong for setting them up together because she out there begging the judge to release him.
And you know what, though? They said that he was like a scammer or whatever, allegedly. But the way that he dated her didn't seem, I mean, he probably was scamming somebody. So to me, I feel like she was the victim. If he's a scammer, or did this come into play after? Because people like to throw words out there.
Because he had a history. He was been incarcerated before they got together. He has allegedly, he has a very long history. And if she did any level of background checking on him, that's public information. And I feel like if he was incarcerated, he probably told her. And she was probably just okay with it.
No second chances.
We had this conversation, Mel. You all asked me. I said no, thank you. No,
Okay.
thank you.
So if you have been incarcerated, Amber D said, keep scrolling.
There's a whole lot of fish in this sea. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But I feel like at this point, she is trying to salvage her own image. Because I feel like before the public knew what was going on, she was making her own decisions. And when she submitted that affidavit letter, that she saw all the charges he was facing, including the animals and the children's. So,
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
That's all she got to say. Okay.
Yeah, it's a for me.
Okay.
Birds of a feather is what it's trying to sound like.
Does it? You gonna give it to her?
Yeah, birds of a feather.
I think people are pretty much going that direction because she reads the strawberry letter, but that's her job. She's just reading the strawberry letter. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to go into the pressure of the young Black man.
Okay.
And when I don't like talking about this, but I had to tweak it where it fits and we can actually have an open discussion.
Okay.
The young man who shot the young man who punched his mother and he shot him and killed him.
The son of the woman. Got it.
Now, we know there was a whole bunch of different information. We had to get all of it first. Because first it was like she called the son to come in there. Boom, boom. And that wasn't the case. So, do you feel that that young man feels the pressure of heading the household and protecting the family? I went big.
Yeah, I think he does. And I feel like there's also, even if there was a father in the home, if the father wasn't there in that moment, he would feel the pressure to protect his mother. And I think the difference is if there was a father in the home, from what I understand, there is not a father in the home. I could be wrong about that. The difference is the boy would, in my personal opinion, have more confidence because he knows he has his father behind him. But I still feel
I wanted to open up the conversation of our young Black men having the pressure of protecting the home at that young age.
I definitely think
being responsible at that young age.
But then I also feel like if you look at the outcomes of these men, they don't grow into men that are protectors a lot of times. So the flip side of that is like, no, not.
You don't think so? Because you hear angry Black man all the time. That's a common
phrase. You hear angry Black man, but are these men that are coming from single mother households, are they growing up to lead their own households? Or are they just making babies and abandoning?
Or the way they know how. Let's talk about the young man in Warren and the surveillance camera caught him. I'm glad, I don't know if she had a baby cam or not, where the young man kicked the 1-year-old child and beat up the mother, and it's everywhere.
I haven't seen that one, but
it's everywhere. It's Warren, Ohio. You got to check it out.
I'll check it out.
He kicked the baby in the face. Like
there's a lot of men. There's something wrong with them mentally. There is a mental illness, and that's why women, especially Black women, have got to be so careful about who we procreate with. Because
I don't even know if that was the father, but my point is that I looked at it, or sleep with or date, right? I looked at it and I saw the anger, and I wasn't justifying it, but for somebody to do that to a baby, you got some serious psychological problems.
Yeah.
And it took me back to say, where is this stemming from? Is it because of the pressures that you have? Yes, we know that the upbringing plays a key role. You have people who were brought up, in good households, adopted, but you got to understand that bloodline's still there.
Woo!
And people are wanting, you can be the best person in the world, but I don't care what nobody say. Your mother will be on crack the whole time. You ain't seen her only one time in your 50 years. that's still your mother and you still want that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe not 50, maybe like 15 teenage years that you still love them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw that, I said, this boy got some psychological issues, angry child. Was he angry before? Ladies, wake up. If he was in school and he was angry in school, flipping desks, honey, he ain't changed. And that masculinity, you don't need to be submissive to, because that's beating submission into you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. When you see one red flag, it's usually a parade to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't looking for the band.
Right, right.
Okay. Let's see here. I want you to read this comment.
Okay, so Carla Leah of Facebook said, this has been going on forever. This, my little man, he the man of the house, and giving them the name daddy. Why would you call your baby daddy?
I heard that. I heard somebody say that before.
Yeah.
Or why would you, as a mother, put the pressure on them? I've heard that where the mother be
Well,
like,
that's women that are lonely, and then they want that love, and then it's, to me, it is an indication of an emotionally incestuous relationship. Like, it's an unhealthy household.
okay. But you know what? We tend to put that pressure on them at a young age by saying, if they have siblings, you protect your younger sister or brother. And it's
Absolutely.
that older one that's
Yep.
always got to protect, and that younger one be starting all the mess.
That is sibling dynamics. That is absolutely.
But think about the pressures of the oldest child.
Right.
And we put that on them. Now, I don't know if that's a cultural thing or not, or if it's across the board. I'm going to have to ask a few of my non-melanated people. Do you have that pressure? Do you have the pressure of, you got to protect your mother?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of pressure. That it's like, okay, so now as a child, I had to protect. Now I'm an adult. I have to protect. And how do I do that? And I've been protected. And the only way I know how to protect is to fight. I get incarcerated because I get incarcerated when I'm an adult and choose to fight. How do we break that cycle?
Well, I think violence is not the answer.
But you've seen how it started, though. As a child, protect your younger brother or sister.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And as a child, you fight. And
Right.
then you keep that same energy.
Well, I think it's not a matter of not fighting, but I guess fight smart.
Okay.
Like, be smart about it. You got to put your brain to it. Apply your brain to the situation and whatever circumstance you're in. Because I do think you have to stand up for yourself. You have to have courage, as far as just having, morality and values, and willing to stand up for what you believe in. And that's not just, indiscriminately fighting everyone or being violent, and I don't want to make this false equivalency between kicking a 1-year-old in the face and, breaking up a fight, saving a woman that's being assaulted that also is your mother. I feel like there's a huge difference between that. And I feel like it's important that we as a people acknowledge that you can use violence to stand up for the little guy or to be the hero in the situation or whatever. But that doesn't mean violence is the solution in every situation, or that you should let your anger control you. And if you do feel that way, or if you were raised in that environment, just like a lot of Black women, you can choose as an adult to say, I'm not going to repeat that cycle. I'm not going to operate in the environment in which I was raised. I'm going to choose differently for myself.
Okay. That's just so tragic.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, and I understand in Chicago, a whole lot of people carry guns, but I was trying to find the similarities there. Because I was like looking around, and then with this baby getting kicked, I was like, that boy's jacked up. He looked very, very young, not justifying it. He is being charged, child endangerment and all that. But I looked at that, and that child, they said, was 1 year old. But I don't know if the child was trying to protect the mother. I don't know. But at that moment, Yeah, babies do. At that moment, seeing, I would have been done right then. And had that girl responded like that boy did to his mother and killed him,
Right.
I'm really curious as what the outcome would have been.
Right. I mean, if it was all recorded, it would have ended. I mean, it would have ended up the same outcome. There would have been no charge. It was self defense. You know, obviously he was the aggressor. He went and kicked the baby, and so she put some hot lead in him. As a result, that's what happens. But there is another. It kind of went viral, and I think it was in Florida again. There was two black children. I think they were in Target, and they were in the electronics section, and then this man ran up to them. It was 11-year-old boy and his maybe like 3 or 4-year-old brother.
Mhm.
And he runs up, sucker punches the 11-year-old, and then runs up to the 4-year-old and punches him out unconscious. 11-year-old brother runs, picks up his 4-year-old brother, carries him off. And then the guy was apprehended. He was like a racist or whatever. And that's why he did that allegedly. But assaulting children is just unacceptable, especially strangers. There are kids that aren't even yours, and that doesn't make it any better. But when people have to understand that there's consequences to their actions, and some consequences will end your life, and that's just what it is.
Okay. And it definitely can.
Yeah.
Now, I went to the comments, I put it up there for the viewers. I'll read it for the listeners. Only iron sharpens iron. No man in front of your sons is destined to fail. Now, the reason I brought that young man up over there,
Okay.
the baby was a boy child.
Okay.
That man kicked.
Mm.
And it's like, how we got to find some type of solution. And it is not the girlfriend's responsibility to fix the problems that your mother gave you.
Woo!
That right there is clearly something he was brought up with.
Yes.
And we're supposed to do what with that?
Not and put some hot lead in it. I'm sorry. I sound mean, but because
we do not condone committing crimes up in here.
I condone
but go ahead, I hear you.
Self-defense. Okay, because men, it is not your romantic partner's job to fix or heal your childhood trauma. Whatever you're struggling with internally, it's your job to fix that. Go seek professional counseling, someone who actually has the skills and the training to assist you in resolving your issue. And I'm glad you mentioned that the little baby that got kicked was a boy, because there is a problem between older black men and younger black men and little black boys. There is some sort of disconnect, resentment, anger, a lot of negative feelings. And I think that is a major component of this cyclical issue, this generational issue. Like, why do older black men don't want to be bothered, don't want to guide, don't want to mentor in a large number, not just a minority few, these younger black men or these little black boys? As a community, as a group.
All right, let's go to this comment. This is good.
So Carla Lee of Facebook said, the Bible says it is better to put a milestone around your neck than to hurt a child.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have parents, both of them. That's why I had to get here. But I had to walk you through it a little bit, because we know how that goes. They'll be like, okay, one way, not the other way. Hold on. Now, you had a black man physically abuse this child.
Okay.
And then I asked the question about the mom and the pressures that a single mother will put on a black child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm noticing that both role models for the child is harming them. Is harming them. And we need to figure out solutions to prevent that from happening. And I understand being a mother, being a nurturer here, this is what you see. Yes, my mother had it hard. How often have we heard that, where And be like, oh, I seen my mother do it. My mother's a strong Black female. We don't want to be strong.
Well, and I feel like
We
that
have
was
to be.
that's what I was talking about as far as, okay, is it really, are they taking that leadership responsibility? Are, first of all, are they actually taking it, and then are they implement, is it carrying on into their adult life? Because a lot of times these men that come out of single parent households, it's like, oh, she's fine, she's got it. It's not, I have to take control, I have to be the leader.
Back
that's,
to
that's not
back to
their
the
response. It's their
submissive
perpetual childhood.
provider.
Exactly.
Back to the topic. Is this why we have these new aged men?
I think is a major component of it. Major factor.
It's like, okay, I got an option. Either I can be angry, I can do this, I can do that. And if I do that, I know where that's going to lead me. Don't want to do that. Okay, well, you strong, you independent. We did have that anthem. INDEPENDENT.
That was written by a man. That was performed by a man. A man wanted that.
Okay. And or you had this is my ride or die chick. No, that's not a turn on, sir. Real talk.
Not at all.
You know, so come with another phrase.
Why aren't these men talking about they are ride or die for their women?
But this the new age men. But we are allowing it. Just like it's like I don't like our pants. Okay. So a guy says because we can't.
You can't ride or die for a woman? Well, you know what? I was
elaborate, but probably not, because then who gonna pay the bills if they did? I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm gonna need you to stick around. We gonna check your blood pressure, your blood sugar. We checking everything. Okay, like no. I just feel like we gotta stop at some. Everyone plays a role.
Yes.
In the household. It is very important to have a male in your household. I do, because there's things that females cannot teach a young man.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, things that an adult male can't teach a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about her body. They're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I think it's important. And at that point, when you have those roles, and if it's a toxic relationship, don't even worry about it. But when you have those roles, your child is able to choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
To see, okay, well, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Or how often have you heard, yeah, my dad wasn't crap, and he was in the household.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, or my dad did everything. My mother was lazy, and both was in the household.
Mm-hmm.
And when you become an adult, you get to see the dynamics and like, oh, I couldn't be her. Oh,
right.
Sometimes you'll have both parents there and be like, oh, why did he stay with her that long? Or why did she stay with him? These are real questions and thoughts.
And I feel like, to your point, that is why, to the biblical structure, the man and women are supposed to come together and create the foundation of marriage in union with each other. The man and woman are supposed to commit to each other first. And then you bring children so the children can witness this intentional union of two people willingly coming together, right? So I think a big part of being a good parent is just being a good partner and demonstrating a healthy romantic relationship for your children to model after. But you can't do that if you're out here having babies with somebody you barely know, somebody you don't want to commit to. You're not gonna model something healthy for your children because you're not even in something healthy.
Okay. Now with Nate W Facebook said, nope, that's not even Facebook. That's the YouTube. What up, YouTube? Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button. The moms won't allow men to discipline their young man the way they need to. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say this. Y'all better get that background check done. See how these folks was raised. Because there are some people out here be like, okay, well, I'll allow you to chastise our child, but I don't know if your childhood trauma is going to trickle down onto our child. You might beat him to death. I might think you did it too much. You know what I mean? Like, you're pretty harsh, where you might be with a partner who they got spoken to.
Right.
And that was the discipline. And it wasn't just beat.
Exactly. And I feel like, to Nathan W's point, is a part of that is being in union with your person. And that includes on the topic of discipline. It's not give me the free reign and I'm going to do whatever I want to your child or our child or to the child. It's this is what I think the punishment should be. And y'all two are in agreement about said punishment. Now, maybe the father needs to go and execute it, but you'll circumnavigate all of that if y'all are both in agreement about the offense and what is appropriate disciplinary action. You got to be on board.
All right. Well, I could just keep you here. I could just keep you right here. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Hey, lovely people. Thank you for tuning in to Shop Talk with Mel. Don't forget to hit that like button on all of them. Look, if you're watching, hit the like button. If you're listening, hit the like button. If you're listening on your favorite podcast, I don't know what you guys have wherever you get your podcast, but click it, do something to keep it going and keep us in the algorithm. Today's footnote is perspective. And like I said, all perspective is not true. If it's true, you lucked out. Trust and believe that, because it is the way that you view things. And effort, to Monique's case, effort, when we talk about the bonnets. Yes, it takes a lot of work to look good, to put yourself together. Tons of work. It's effort. Effort. Oh, yeah, I said I was going to get to that. The Mel's Medical Moments. Yeah. I'm going to get to that. The efforts. And for the Mel's Medical Moments, since we're running out of time because I got to get moving here, I will pick up next week and we're going to talk about the stroke in detail. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Amber G. Keep me together, girl. Keep me together. So, yes, effort. With effort, we always got to use some energy. So please don't be lazy. Take time for yourself. If you can't take time for yourself, how can you take time for someone else? Talking about you looking for love. Child, come on now. Get yourself together. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to be beautiful. It truly is. And beauty fades. We know all that. So look for something else. But put yourself together when you go out in public, because I'm telling you, every person that you come in contact with is an interview. And that might be your big break. You can quit them 2 and 3 jobs. You get one. Making the money that you want. And again, I don't see nothing wrong with the word gold digger. Y'all thought I was going to hit it. I don't want y'all mad. Y'all be sitting there trying to get rid of me. Oh, yeah. Your boy, listen, we're going to pick up next week. Nathan, I finally caught something at the end. He says, and I put it up there, if you're a single mom, you have childhood trauma too. Not true. I disagree with that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Amber, real quick. Say what you got to say to that. You want to answer to that?
Oh, no. I said next week. We can get into it next week.
All right, so we're going to handle that. We got you next week. I'm write that one down. We're going to finish that one. That's off the hook. It's silly. All right, lovely people. That is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single week. So tune in, and you can catch us on your favorite podcast. You can go back and listen if you're catching the show right now. Anytime. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of them. Shop Talk, one word, with Mel. Go to YouTube, hit the like buttons, lovely people, and subscribe if you like and want to hear more content from us here at Shop Talk. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always love you. Until next week, people. 1, 2, 3.
Shop Talk.